everyone, my name is Kelly Cahoot and I'm here for CatScrappiness.com. Today I'm sharing how I made a few Halloween goodie bags. I used this set from Cherry Lynn Designs and they're called Halloween dies. As you can see, there's several bats, a jack-o'-lantern, a cat, and these are held together with the little wire pieces, and you can either snip them apart or use them all together. I used them all together to make it super fast. I also used the Gina Marie Designs stitched fishtail banner dies. I cut all of my paper out, got all my little pieces ready to go, and I'm going to use this stencil. It's called Bat Stencil from Echo Park. I'm going to tape that down onto my work surface with some Post-it tape. I grab my Wilted Violet Distress ink, and I'm going to use a blending tool to blend that right inside those little bat areas, and I'm not going to be super careful. I want it to look kind of messy and grungy, and it's for Halloween, so I thought it would be cool just to kind of make a mess. As you can see there on my work surface, I had trouble with some of the other work surfaces with my distress inks, and so I finally figured out, or finally tried, a glass cutting board that you use to prepare food, and I love it. It cleans up so easily. You can scrape it with a razor blade if you get paint or glue on it, and you can see there I just used my little Lawn Fawn stamp chamois, and it just, everything wipes right off. Now I couldn't decide what to do with this black banner. I thought, well, maybe that I could use some lighter gray, and I looked at it for just a minute and decided that was not going to work. So I took some Versamark ink and I just spread that all over. And I'm going to heat emboss this with some black glitter finish embossing powder. I'm just going to sprinkle that all over the top of those places that I put the Versamark ink, and I heat set that, and then it's all done. For the green one, instead of doing a tone on tone like I did with the other ones, I used some gray ink, and this color is called Pumice Stone, and it's a really cool little color. It kind of looks smoky when you put it on your projects. So I got all those finished up, and then I'm ready to work on the Halloween sentiment die cut there. I used an inexpensive little sponge dauber and that Versamark ink, and I'm just going to dab it on, and I'm not being careful. I'm just kind of smushing it on there. I'm going to use Ranger Liquid Platinum embossing powder and put that on there. I didn't use like an embossing powder tool or anything like that. Like I said, I want it to be messy. I want it pieces to get, kind of where they're not supposed to be. I used a paintbrush here to knock a bunch of it off. As you can see there, it looks drippy and messy and just kind of fades into that color. I glued these on to my banner with a zig glue pen, and I only glued down the happy part. I wanted the Halloween to kind of flip up and add a little dimension. And I just use my thumbs to kind of flip it up, and then that way you get a little dimension without having to go through the trouble of using a bunch of foam tape. I put all the other little die cuts on, and then I decided I was ready to embellish with some bows and some other different things. I tried out the new lawn cuts from Lawn Fawn, and this is called Put a Bow on It. And that little bow, it wasn't double-sided paper, and I didn't like the way that the stark white looked when I curled up the bow. And so I just took that Pumice Stone ink again, and I ran it all over the back and all over the front, and then I'm going to use my glue dots to form the bow, and it's super easy. There's little tabs that you just join together. Looking back on this, I wish that I had used liquid glue on this, because for some reason my little glue dots didn't like the distress ink, I think is what it was. but I ended up getting it all together and all shaped. And you can see there it's added to just a paper bag. A lot of these I have had in my stash for years. You can find these online on Etsy and party stores. The paper bag, of course, you can just find at your local grocery store. You know, they're little lunch bags. You can use glassine bags that look like vellum so you can see through and see what's inside. So I took all kinds of little supplies out of my stash. I used purple and white twine. I held the little bags on with miniature clothespins and little office clips. And I wanted them all to be a little different. And again, I just used things that I had on hand. I used the Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte finish, and I'm adding some cat Scrappiness sequins to give it that finishing touch. Just a little bit of sparkle. As you can see there, they're all done. And then I want to show you how easy these are to pre-make. And then when it's time for Halloween, it's time to load your little goodie bags. You just open it up, put your candy right inside, and then you fold it back down. And because we clipped it and we didn't glue it sealed, you just can flip those right back on and you're all done. Thanks for joining me with catscrappiness.com. See you next time. Bye-bye.